It's time for the One Bar and Linebackers Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the One Bar and Linebackers Show, and it is that time of the week where we look at the tail of the tape. We are going to look at each team's positions, see who's better off. These are both 0-3 teams. This might be a tale of the turds.
It could be tail of the turd, and I got a tale about a turd I had last Saturday. It was meatloaf night the night before.
Meatloaf night never ends well the next day.
It's not good. Yeah, you said a couple 0-3 teams. We're just going to kind of pit these positions against each other and be completely honest in which group we would rather have.
Yeah, we're taking our Purple Hearts out of it. Let's start right at the top with the quarterback position, not tight ends.
Yeah, so Texans, they got Deshaun Watson, A.J. McCarron against Kirk Cousins and Sean Mannion. This is like the Orient Express going up against the Rockers, if you ask me.
Yep, not even close. Deshaun Watson. I mean, Watson is not off to a stellar start. He's not completely ripping up. Four touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but yeah, it's not even remotely close. Deshaun Watson, one of the up-and-comers. Kirk Cousins, one of the up-and-shitters.
Well, yeah, that's really rude to say about Kirk. But Deshaun Watson, he said it, up-and-coming quarterback. He's going to give you stability at the position for at least another 10 years. Cousins will be around for maybe 2. And with Deshaun Watson, the extra time he can create in the pocket, how dangerous he can be with his legs, it's just too damn bad the Texans took away his number one weapon. But I would love to have Deshaun Watson in purple.
Yeah, you said it. He can he turns a play that is a complete mess into something. He never gives up. He will chuck that thing up. So, yes, that is easy. Let's go to the running back position where Texans look awfully different than they did last year.
Yeah, they do. They got David Johnson, Duke Johnson. I guess they only hire backs with the last name Johnson, but their third stringer is Buddy Howell. And they got C.J. Procyse, who I think one time was a fantasy starter for my team in the Hootamaki League. Against, obviously, Delvin Cook, Alexander Madison, Mike Boone, and Amir Abdullah. I think this is a slam dunk, no-brainer. We would all much rather have Delvin Cook and his friends.
And his pals, yes, Texans averaging 3.7 yards a carry on the ground. David Johnson, what's he got? 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. So David Johnson, I think he's got a little left in the tank, but it's definitely dilly-dally Cook, baby.
Yeah, he doesn't have the explosion of Delvin Cook, the home run ability. Solid back. He can be the Texans' workhorse, but he doesn't have that explosion factor. But he is having a resurgent year, so give him a little bit of props for that. Well done,
all right, let's go to wide receiver. Wide receiver might be a little closer than expected.
Yeah, Texans got Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, Will Fuller, Kenny Stills, DeAndre Carter, Kiki Kuti. Again, you're looking at the overall depth. The Texans are deeper, but you want to talk about the frontline talent, I'm taking the Vikings hands down.
Wow, they like to spread the ball around. Brandon Cooks has 10 receptions. Will Fuller has 12. Randall Cobb even has 11. I'm not so certain on that one. I loved what Justin Jefferson did last week, but I like their depth. Our depth is BC Johnson, who can't do BC shit.
Will Fuller is hurt like every single year. He's only played probably like half the games every year. Brandon Cooks is Brandon Cooks. There's no real height here. There's some speed. It's deeper, but I think the Vikings are top heavier, so I'm going Vikings.
If it was just straight up this year, which receivers do you want? I'm taking the Texans. If it's long-term, yes, I'm taking the Vikings. So I just think they got depth. I think they've been around. Yeah, they get hurt, but they're not too bad. Let's go tight end.
Like a bunch of yellow starbursts. That's what they have.
I've actually come to like yellow starbursts. I think it's because I'm getting old, but yellow starbursts are not bad anymore. They used to be. Yellow runts, now on the other hand, are still very disgusting.
Any banana flavored candy is horrible.
Banana Laffy Taffy is surprisingly good.
Yuck. I love bananas, but not banana flavored candy. Let's go to the O-line. Texans.
Tight end.
You want to go tight end first?
Hell yeah. Get those playmakers out of the way, baby.
All right. Well, Darren Fells, Jordan Atkins, Farrell Brown against Rudolph, Turd Smith Jr., and Konkadunk.
Yeah, I mean, even though our tight ends have about 1 reception combined all year and about 50 penalties, I'm still taking these tight ends over a lot of tight ends in the league, especially over these tight ends, and it's not close.
It's not. It makes you wonder why the Texans have not invested one of those high second-round picks in a tight end. They seem to pass in that position every single year. And, I do have to say, Fells and Atkins, every now and then they'll have one big game or they'll have like 6 catches and a touchdown. You're thinking in your fan, why the hell didn't I pick this guy? But other than that, they're pretty quiet.
Well, I mean, Fells has 11 catches on the year, and that's 9 more than Irv Smith.
How many penalties does Fells have, though?
Irv Smith's got
smoked in that category.
Probably 0. All right, now let's go to your offensive line. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Left tackle, Laramie Tunzel. Left guard, Max Sharping. Center, Nick Martin. Right guard, Zach Fulton. Right tackle, Titus Howard. They got rookie Charlie Heck on the bench. Sunil Calamity and our boy Rod Johnson, who we both are very high on in the draft, on some depth at tackle as well. So I think this comes to pretty much any team when it comes to the offensive line. If we are picking the Vikings, they must be in a real shitty position.
Yeah, or in a horrible college division. It's not close. The Texans invested early in the offensive line, invested big on that trade with the Dolphins. Surprisingly, Watson's been sacked 13 times already this year. I wish we had a stat check on that. It doesn't seem right, but that's what it says.
Yeah, they got the names, but I don't think they've really been playing that well. So, Tunzel, they get a lot to get him. I don't know when the next time the Texans actually have a first-round pick. Might be 4 years down the road the way Bill O'Brien was making those deals. But they invested a first-round pick in Titus Howard, who I don't think has quite lived up to the hype. Nick Martin was another high pick in Sharping. So they got high picks. They got a lot of invested in this O-line. And, again, there's names there, but how they're performing probably isn't up to what the talent level should be.
Yeah, I would still take this offensive line, even if they lined up backwards.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's go to defense. Are you ready for defense?
Defensive line.
Well, look at this. All right, they got Charles Omenihu, who is one of my biggest draft crushes of the last 3 years. Brandon Dunn, J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless. Oh, that's linebacker. Okay, J.J. Watt. Ross Blacklock, who's a second-round pick. I don't think he's played much. He's been hurt. P.J. Hall, there's a familiar name.
P.J. Hall, and he's actually having a pretty damn good season, which just pisses me off. What did he do to fail that physical?
He was fat as hell.
So what? All defensive tackles are fat as hell, and he's ripping it up for the Texans.
He had some double D breasts flopping around. Vikings were not interested.
Well, I am, and we really stepped on our dicks on that one. I'm taking the Texans D-line, obviously.
Not even close, especially if you're going from right now with Danielle Hunter out. This is a slam dunk in favor of the Texans. I'm horrified what Watt's going to do, what Charles Omenihu is going to do to us. And
they got some good numbers, too. I think they got 5 sacks between them this year. So that's going to be very, very scary. But Riley Reif will keep one of them in check.
He will. It's a P.J. Hall revenge game. You got to remember that.
P.J. Hall burns my ass. Let's go to the linebackers.
All right. We got Whitney Merciless, Zach Cunningham, Bednardrick McKinney, and Brendan Scarlett as their starters. Dylan Cole, pretty much the only notable backup at this point. As good as the Vikings linebackers are when they're healthy, this group is pretty damn good. And you got to factor in the injuries, factor in the kind of turd Eric Wilson's been. I am taking the Texans linebackers.
Yeah, Cunningham, McKinney, very, very good. We're down to like our 5th linebacker on the depth chart. So, let's move on. It's upsetting.
Are you getting sick?
I'm just getting mad.
All right, let's go to corners.
Our linebackers should be better.
They should be, but they're not. Corners, Vernon Hargreaves, Bradley Roby, Lonnie Johnson, Philip Gaines, Keon Crossan, John Reed. Again, you look at the Vikings' injuries, youth, inexperience. Though I do love the way Jeff Gladney has been stepping up in recent weeks. You got to go with the Texans here as well, I believe.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Texans are kind of walking away with this defensive side of the ball, but Roby is very good. Hargraves is 9,000 years old, and they even got a little depth with hot Lonnie Johnson.
Yeah, Lonnie Johnson's a pretty damn good player. So there's just what?
Vernon Hargreaves is only 25 years old. It seems like he's been around for 50 years.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to ignore you.
Wow. All right, my apologies to Vernon.
Maybe because his name is Vernon. He sounds older than he is.
They don't have any turnovers yet this year. No interceptions, so we got him there. But, yeah, they're still better.
They are. Let's go to safety. Eric Murray. Actually, this team looks about as thin as the Vikings. Eric Murray, Justin Reed, and they got Michael Thomas backing them up against Anthony Harrison Smith.
I love Eric Murray.
We all do.
One of the Vikings get him so bad. Very versatile.
I love Justin Reed, too. So I love both their safeties, but no way in hell I'm not taking Harrison Smith and Anthony Harrison.
Yeah, I think we can just lock safety for the Vikings throughout the year. I mean, Zimmer in his post game, and he's been talking. He wants those safeties to play better, but maybe it's because expectations are so high.
Well, I think they're probably trying to do too much.
It's probably that's fair. But the Texans do have very, very good safeties, good secondary. But yes, I will give this one to the Vikings on defense. They get one on defense.
All right, let's go over to special teams quickly. Brian Angers, their punter. Kicker Kaimi Fairbairn, DeAndre Carter. I think he's got some wheels. This is their primary return man against the Vikings, who I guess we don't really have a return man now. We're going to go back to that rotation. And the shitty way Colquitt's been punting and Dan Bailey missing a field goal. After last week, I'm taking any special teams unit over the Vikings, and I'm going with the Texans.
Wow. Well, and the Texans, they're actually pretty damn good. Anger's one of the best in the league. Got that big old hog of a leg on him. And yeah, Fairbairn is good too. I couldn't tell you how DeAndre Carter is. It looks like he's averaging 20 yards kickoff and 11.3 on punts, which is fantastic.
Fast guy. I'm not a fast guy. I feel like this is a Texans pretty strong win when you're comparing position by position. So is that going to translate into a Texans win this week? I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I'll tell you on Saturday.
We will see. Hopefully, like you said, the defensive line is very scary against our offensive line, and then just our secondary against some receivers that you're not giving enough love to on the Texans.
I'm not a fan of those guys. I'm just not. But I'm a fan of this little tidbit. You familiar with Newcastle in the United Kingdom?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, you might know this then. One of their biggest exports was urine that they used to make paint with.